Hello, this is Theresa, and welcome to my live stream. I haven't been around for at least I'd say a week, but life has been busy. Life has been good. Life is always good, and I'm very thankful for the Lord Jesus blessing me and my family and loved ones and those around me. So let's jump into Saturday Night Live. Organization is a beautiful thing. And when I say that, I don't mean the perfectionism of it. It's not about perfectionism. It's about, I'm trying to think of the word, not inspiring your creativity, but enabling your creativity. And tonight, because I knew where my things were, it inspired this type of creativity. Now, this type of creativity might not be everybody's jam, but I started off with, I've been into this thing about layering papers. So Amazon papers, book page, and so far I don't have them all in one spot. Oh, I do actually for the book pages. I gotta move some things here. I think I've got them in here. This is my book page scraps. These are some book pages, but in here, I think, might be wrong. I'm feeling for thickness. I thought I had some glued pages in here. Okay, I was wrong. Not the first time. Definitely not going to be the last. Now, where did I put those glued book pages? Anybody see where I put them? Oh, I've got another idea. So this is one of my boxes of creativity. I've got some more glued packing pages. This is like cardstock consistency. Had to kill that bug. I did it with tissue paper. No, these aren't done yet. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I think I did it with, no I didn't. Okay, nothing more is glued together in layers. But I think you get the idea of where I'm going at with this. And as I get more organized, and hope that's not a dirty word in your world. Where did I put the other ones? Let me close this thing up before so I can move it around. This is my digitals. I've been playing with some of those. I got me some, what is this? This is some new cheesecloth that I got. And I've been playing with. So it looks pretty pristine here, but once I coffee dye it and work on it, then I can get it to look like this. This is some cheesecloth that I worked on today, but this is cool. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. And So I've never done this before because I've not had two consistencies of cheesecloth before, but there's that one cheesecloth there, and then I attached the other type of cheesecloth on the bottom, and I really like the way that marries together. So no, I never did find my other glued together pages. I'm not sure where they're hiding at from me right now. They'll probably pop up tomorrow. Let me just make sure I don't have any in here. Oh, this is coffee dyed lace. Okay, I should coffee dye the rest of that cheesecloth and put it in here too. And put coffee dyed items in this tin. That would be a good thing for that. And there's no time better than the present to remind myself that I'm going to do that. Coffee dyed dyed components. And this was my Ephemer Ember tin, so what a great thing to put in here is coffee dyed components that went with compartmental ephemera, which is what the theme of Ephemer Ember was. I was so tired when I decided to go ahead and turn the camera on, but now I feel kind of hyped. Kind of hyper. So it's very warm here in Yuma, Arizona today. Just put my little label right there. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, no, I'm going to lay that on top of there so that I remember to coffee dye the rest of that. I am loving, loving, loving my bow comb. I've been making all kinds of bows with my bow comb. It just makes it so easy to make bows. Let me show you. I'll take a little bit of this lace here. Oh, hold still. Last time I tried to do this on camera, it was still too new to me, and I couldn't do it without watching the instructions very carefully. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I goofed. No, I didn't. I think I only want 2 combs over on the one side. Let me see if I can redo that. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. in the middle and tie it off. I still haven't got my new ephemera holder thing that I posted about on my community page yet. That comes in on Monday. Why isn't that tight? There we go. That's tight. And it just really makes tying a bow more enjoyable for me. Now there's people who are probably really good about tying their own bows, and more power to you, but I am not one of those people. But every once in a while I do like a bow. So I'm not going to put another bow on here, but yeah, see, it's very pretty. It's just very pretty. Okay, well that was one of the things. I've been playing with Roxy's Creations digitals, and then this is for Italian book page. I think this is Italian, that I bought from Roxy's Creations. And I've been playing with some of my cicada paper, and then I already talked about the two different kinds of cheesecloth that I got, and I've just been having a good time. Now this thing took on a life of its own, because this digital from Roxy's Creations printed out this big like this, and this was a piece of a page that I had. So I just went with the flow and ended up creating a great big thing like this. Now something like this would be nice as a journal cover, but even as a journal cover it still might be too big. But I am not, how do I want to say this? I'm not ruling out the possibility that I would be happy to cut this up kind of like a master board. So maybe I would cut this right about here and turn it into a pocket. Or maybe I'd go ahead and cut it into 4 pieces and have 4 journal cards. Maybe I might cut it just like this and have a tuck spot. Who knows? But this is put together. It is complete. It has the possibility of writing space on the back, and I could do some beautiful things with this in some kind of a journal. Now I also was I was playing with these library card digitals that I bought the digital a long time ago from the Paper Outpost, and I was working in my, oh my gosh, I did so many things today. I was working in this, I was tidying it up some more, trying to make it more categorized, like there's postal stuff in the front here, and then as I go on, there's all these library cards that I had from maybe at least a year ago, maybe 2, I don't know. But I was like, man, I've got so many of those. Look, I've got this still, and I've got this still. I told myself, I need to use some of those. I need to play with them tonight, and I did. And that is what led to making these, because Rachel with Roxy's Creations was doing something like this with vellum vellum, yeah. Vellum bags, I think is what she was using, or vellum envelopes. I think it was bags. So I decided to do something similar with some of the scraps I had left over, like this, and this are scraps from me buying one of her kits, a few of her kits recently, and printing them out. And then I had some stuff just kind of hanging out in my little ephemera container, and just these are some things from the kit that I'm working on using. This is other stuff that I just pulled from different piles and brought all the piles together. I don't even remember doing this. I love this thing. Every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, that looks professional. Like, you know, somebody who has a shop and they're selling this kind of thing. You got a little baggie that I'm sure I reused a baggie from something else, and then I must have found a digital from somewhere, and I put these pieces of ephemera that I'd put together and made, and then sewed it together like that. And I don't even remember doing it, but every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And good timing because Easter is coming up. So then these are some digitals from Rachel, some leftover. These are leftover digitals from Louisa Heinzel last year for Tattered Bunny, I think. She had another kit that came out during that time too. These are some things that I've made in the past that have just been hanging out, so I'm trying to bring things together in piles where I can find them. And also, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, everything has to be clear. I am moving things. Even I love my ephemera books, you guys. I really do love my ephemera books. But there are still pieces of ephemera here that have been in here for years. Not this stuff. Most of this is newer right now. But stuff sometimes that has been around for years, and I don't use it because I can't see it. I have to be able to see things. That's for Theresa. That may not be for everybody, but that's for Theresa. I have to be able to see things so that I will use them. So I've been transitioning more to purchasing little containers like this. I haven't decided what to put in here. I think actually, you know, this is real cute, and I thought it was going to work. But I'll tell you what I did the other day. I'm gonna, well, am I gonna show it to you or not? Oh, I have a ton of fabric. And last month, I think it was, I put all those fabrics in here like this, and I can see them, and I'm using them more because of this. I don't have a big need for all these fabrics, so they're not getting used still a ton, but they are getting used more. But the message that I'm preaching here is that I can see things, so I'm using them. So I was thinking maybe instead of this silly thing that I put together with an empty water bottle, is, see if I can keep from poking myself. I was thinking that I would take these, don't poke yourself, and smush them together real tight, kind of like what I did with the fabric, only because there's so much here, it's more like a skein than a folded piece of fabric. And maybe I can get these in here like this. Because this other thing just isn't really working for me. I tried it, it didn't work. needle. And I have finally come up with a final decision about the glue gun. And my final decision is that this is my preference right here. At first I thought, no, I like the other one better, but mostly because I couldn't get, alright, can I bring it over? I couldn't get this out of the holder one-handed, but I've taught myself how to get it out of the holder pretty successfully one-handed. Okay, where's the rest of my... So this one, being so long, I'll probably put that right there. I think this is going to work better. That was my shakes. Just threw it all over the place. So how's everybody been? I know a lot of people have been battling cold weather. We've had really good weather here. This is all brand new fabric, or not fabric, lace. Okay. So we're doing it, how are we doing it? We're doing it that way. And then we can put some bows in here. I don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, here's some odds and ends. I may end up getting rid of this box altogether. I think I'm going to do that, actually. You know, I do these things and think, oh, that's a good organizational idea. And then the thing is I try very hard to not be resistant to changing my mind. About organizational ideas. See if I can get that to stay. What else? Do we have any? Nope, that's empty. That's going in the trash. Here's a bow. That's going to go right there. This can go right here. This is a I don't know, my brain went blank. Just turned right off. Okay. What have we got in this one? See, all of this can go right in here. And I'll do it a little bit more fancy later on. That's going in the garbage. I just don't have the energy to save things. Okay, this one can go here, and that goes there. These all go here. I'll do them better later. This goes here. This goes here. Actually, it's going to go right there. This is going to go here. That doesn't want to stay there. That's empty, it's going in the trash. And I still have a lot more room in here. I love this clothespin idea. I'm gonna hang on to that for a minute. Okay, here's some more things that were in here. I gotta hold on to this. This is good for my journal. This is going in the garbage. This is going in the garbage. I don't know what that is too. I think it was for something that I returned recently to Amazon and forgot about that little puppy. All these need to go back to their home. These are done. I'm just jumping all over the place tonight, in case you hadn't noticed. I have decided that I need a self-care area for my desk, because I take this estrogen. I like to keep these extras cut off so that it uses up as little real estate on my desk as possible. And then, you know, once in a while I like to file my nails, but I don't have a self-care area. This is kind of self-care too, but I also use it to make things shiny for crafting. Oh goodness. I really wish that would go in there. Let's see if we can make that happen. We'll take these out. We'll take this out. Think. These can go in here. Like that. And like that. And then this can go here. Oh, it almost fits. Almost, but not quite. Okay, let's try something else. You're gonna go there, and then you're gonna go there, and you there, and you there, and you right there. And then my bows can go in here. And we'll put this little guy on the side for now. I'm still not ready to throw him away. He's not really my jam, but I haven't thrown him away yet. That goes in the garbage, that goes in the garbage. These need to be put away. And now this little box can go here, and it doesn't take up as much room as the other stuff that I had here. And we're back to having more room and organization being a beautiful thing. Now this is something that I like to hang out real close by me because it has, I like the little container because it's vintage, and it has my eyelets in it. So I'll just put it in this little thing for now. So I figure out, because this actually needs to go in that other container. But sometimes when things are hanging out like this, that allows you to use them a lot too. See if I can put these in here for now and pray that I don't poke my fingers by reaching in there to get something. Okay, what else have I been doing? Oh yeah, one other thing. So I have had, oops, I haven't taken this out of my coffee shop yet either. I better do that real quick. Sorry guys, I am just a scatterbrain and I gotta do things when I'm thinking about it. So this is a journal that I've had in my coffee shop for quite a while, and I had it listed as a virgin journal. And every time I looked at it, I was like, man, I do like it though. And today I decided to take it out of my shop and use it for me. Ooh, I gotta see something here real quick. Log in. One message. Jennifer shared it. Okay, that's nothing. Okay, so I made a label ephemera book. Kind of like what Rachel with Roxy's Creations uses all the time. I just love it when she has her cute little ephemera books. And now I have a cute little ephemera book for labels. So I used a hitch post for a closure with elastic twine. And this was a naked journal. It had all this beautiful stuff, beautiful digitals. And then today I put vellum in it, vellum pockets in it. And I took my labels out of this ephemera book and put them into this, and this is just for labels because I also had a lot of labels in here, and I still do have, this is tickets here. I have some labels in here still. This is mostly, when I'm done, this is mostly going to be Tim Holtz snippets. and that's mostly what it is right now. See, I love using these little containers like this. Just helps with these little tiny things, and they're clear and I can see what's in there. So these are, I think everything here I got from Tracy Fox. These are all Tracy Fox labels. These are my homemade labels. My, no, I think these are a digital. I don't know whose digital they are. These are, I don't know who. But, you know, being lazy like this is just stupid. And I'm calling myself stupid, so I can say that. There's no reason why I can't just finish cutting these up. And a lot of times I like to ink them as well. So we're going to wrap this video up with finishing some prep work for my label ephemera book. So I worked a little bit with my daughter earlier today. I'm gonna have her do a project for me for work. So we worked on the working virtually together. The youngest grandbaby turned 1. What's today? The 31st? 26, 27. She turned 1. I think it's the 27th. Let's see. One daughter is the 26th. One son is the 28th. And I think I've got 2 grandkids, Kyson and Kennelly, on the 27th. Pretty sure how that works. My husband remembers those things for me really well because I have no brain cells some days. Work is going really well. My business is growing. That's why I need more help. And that's why I haven't been crafting as much lately. Because I'm busy working. And when you're the owner of the company, you have to be on top of things. Hello, DIY Craft Bazaar. Welcome. I'm sure I've got your name in my book, but I've got my hands full of crafting. Okay. So I was so excited that I was able to sell my Junk Journal January journal, and I was able to pre-sell it. It was so exciting for me because I've never pre-sold one of my journals before. And I got it finished early, and I got it all packaged up and put a label on it, and asked my husband to mail it out. Well, he didn't look at the label, and he dropped it off at the post office, but it was a UPS, excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. It was a UPS label, and I didn't realize it until, I don't know, a week later. So every once in a while, I'll go on to Pirate Ship to check the status of somebody getting a shipment. And so I went to see if Gabby had gotten her journal yet. And when I was looking at it, I kept staring at it, and I was like, I could swear this says that it hasn't even left my house yet, because I print my labels out from my home computer, and I gotta have a drink. My throat is just tickling me too much. I always have to keep a lid on my drink in case I accidentally knock it over. So anyways, I looked at it. It said it was a UPS label, and I asked my husband, I said, where did you drop that package off to? And he said the post office. And I said, well, it was a UPS package. Can you go to the post office and see if you can figure out where it's at? And he said the lady went in the back and looked for the package and said it wasn't there. And the first time I talked to my husband about it, he said he gave me the impression that they gave him the impression that they would probably end up sending it back, like to the return address. And so I kept watching it. It still didn't look like it was moving. And he's been like 2 other times since then. One time they said they looked in the spot where UPS packages were and it wasn't there. So I don't know if sometimes UPS, I'm looking for something. One moment, please. So I wasn't sure what they meant was that like UPS will pick up from the post office sometimes, because I'm sure we're not the only people that accidentally dropped off a UPS package at the post office. But anyways, I finally gave up and I refunded her money yesterday, I think it was, and explained to her what happened. And it's just, not only is it disheartening because that was the first time that I had pre-sold a journal. I mean, it was really exciting the very first time I sold a journal at all. And that was just as recently as like not even a year ago. This was the first time I've sold a pre-sold journal. But not only disheartening that way, but also it's like, having a child leave the nest when you spend a month or something on making a journal and then you sell it or give it to somebody. It's a little bit of a disconnect. And so not only did I have to go through the disconnect when I first sold it, but then I'm like, my baby's out there somewhere and I don't know where the heck it is. It's a weird feeling. Because I think it was one of the best journals that I've done. Every time, one time I followed Carol Laws on making a journal, and I loved it. I thought that it came out really well. And I followed Louisa Heinzel 1, 2, 3 times, I think, making what. So I have a Defember Ember journal that is really cool. I have a turtle one that is cool, a tattered bunny that is really cool, and Poppy Avenue. So I think that was 4 or 5 journals that I feel comfortable putting a price tag on and feel comfortable that somebody's going to get a value when they buy those journals. I have 2 left that I think are at that same status. One is from a Tracy Fox planner kit, and one that I just did. I feel like there's one more, but I can't think of what it is right now. Okay, so these are all ready to put in here. I like to put the bigger pieces in the bottom. I'm going to move that around though. These are cute. I wish I could remember where I got them from. Okay. Excuse me. This is a pocket that I did on a piece of fabric, or fabric page, and I actually sewed the vellum in there. And these are some labels that I got from somebody a long time ago. These are some Roxy Creations antique labels, I think is what they're called. These are book plates. I'm gonna have to remember that that's where these are, because I use those in my journals sometimes. Oh, here's some more of these. These go over here. I wonder if I got these from Ink and Page. We've recently been binging on ER. I think it's called 30 Years of ER on, I think it's on HBO. I used to watch that all the time when I was younger. So we had started watching Pitt and, you know, got to the point where we're caught up in just watching the new episodes as they come out on Thursdays, which is a drag because you really get into it and then boom, they say, okay, we'll see you next week. And I'm like, no, I like it better when I don't start watching the series until it's all out and then I binge it. My husband and I both like to do that. Sometimes we'll stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning until we're sleepy, binging on a series. Put put some of these up here. These are my homemade labels that I've made on old book page, you know, like the white part around an old book page, or like some of these were done on piano paper. These are just some quotes from, I don't remember. These, I'm guessing, are from, I almost want to say Shabby Dabby Doodah, but I'm not sure. These are some things that I made. And they're really not actually labels. I just realized that. These actually should go in another thing that I was working on today. I mean, I've had this for a long time. I just played with the cover a little bit more here. But most of this stuff was already in here. But I could put these in here. And I just am tacking them down kind of like with my hot glue gun. I didn't do everything that way, but some of this stuff I'm doing it that way. And then when I'm ready to use it, theoretically, I'm going to be able to just pull that up. Not sure if that's right, but we shall see. So when I'm ready to use it, I can just pull it up. These are all built on old book page, and then I did some stamping and this has a little bit of textile on it. So this mostly has little things like this, little paper clusters, doodling. It was going to be just an art book at one point. There's a pocket to put some more doodles in. This is just, I was just going to tear these things out if I decided I wanted to use them. These are just hanging out and I can just rip them off when I'm ready to use them. Just some mixed media fodder. That's what that is. This is mixed media fodder. It's kind of like a mixed media fodder cluster. Here we have some master boards that I can pull out. These are paint swatches, fodder, kind of like a doodle paint swatch. Just some things I can pull out and use. See, and then I could glue that on somewhere. So this was kind of going to be an ephemera book for this sort of thing. And eventually these will all go, and actually, no, eventually. These really should all go somewhere else, but because of the way I glued them down, I'm just going to leave them there. They should go in this book. I have a people section in here. This should go in that book for postage stuff. I have a place for envelopes and postcards. These are little digitals for Tracy Fox hidden paper clips. They're a lot of fun to make. Some fodder. Some more, I don't know what you would call that. It's fodder, mixed media fodder, I don't know. This would be cute to put on a page and put little people pictures behind it. Just some playing. So this is just hanging out, and if I decided I wanted to use it, I can just pull it up. And I'm not ready to use it, so I'm just going to put it back. Same thing. Same thing, same thing. And then after I pull this up, I can use this paper for lots of different stuff. Hi Barty, nice to see ya. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I can do stuff with this. I haven't decided what yet. Yep, so I was working in that today. These are just my fun little books to do things in. And I'm going to finish my flip through of this label ephemera book. These are kind of like labels. Yeah, they're going to stay in there. These are homemade labels that I did with Tim Holt's tissue paper. I love these labels. I made these and I think that they came out really cool. I need to use them, darn it. Quit admiring them and use them. These are all homemade labels. This is just something I picked up from somewhere. I think it came in a Happy Meal. It would be cute to use for Easter. I love having quotes, but I always forget to use them. It's just a beautiful piece of fabric. That's one of the bummers about probably losing that Junk Journal January journal in the mail, is it had some lovely fabric on it, and it had some great stuff in it, some neat vintage stuff. I don't know what these really are. They're not really labels, but you know, they really don't belong in there now that I think of it. They're really focal points. If I don't have them in the right place, I'm not going to know that I have them to use them. This is some great vellum that I got from Carrie, the Paper Monkey, in Happy Mail. I loved using this today. I thought it was so cool to use music vellum on top of vintage vellum paper. So lots of room to do lots more storage of ephemera. And oh, it came undone. I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep this from coming undone. Oh, that's frustrating. There we go. I love those hitch posts. I love them. Okay, so this is divided into many things, but one of the things is focal points. And so flowers is a main focal point, favorite of mine. So flowers go back here. So do any of you use I don't want to do it there. Do any not there. You use ephemera books? I would prefer to keep all of these together. Oh, I don't think that one was supposed to be a pocket, actually. Let's see. Maybe I could move these. Huh. To here. And that says people. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Those are all put away. Because I'll be making something and just all of a sudden think to myself like these. I actually was wondering if maybe I wanted to put a focal point on these, but then I'll get held up because I'll go, well, where are my focal points? And so I'm trying to make it so that my focal points are more in one area, but that's never going to happen because I have, whoa, my lid wasn't on tight. I have focal points here because I have all my butterflies, and I would never put something like that in my ephemera book because it's kind of 3D. It's just better to have it in my container. And then I have I have flowers here, and I have birds here, and I don't know, I may move my birds to the book. I may move the birds over here. Sorry, I'm just in an organizational mood tonight, so I know it's boring, but I will quit. That's what I've got for you. I did all that. Took me an hour to do all that, so I will say goodbye, and hopefully you'll visit again next time, and maybe I'll see you in one of the other chats. Take care. Goodbye.